Super Bowl 52 is here. There's no better place to be. Even at the stadium, there's still no better place to be than Las Vegas, Nevada. We got a great group of guys to discuss Super Bowl side and total, some props. We've got Dave Cokin, the man under the hat, obviously on the roster at WagerTalk.com, and you can check out his work also every day on ESPN Las Vegas, the Las Vegas Sports Line. We've got Matthew Holt. He is VP of CGT Sportsbooks in Las Vegas. Matt's been with us. He's a regular, you know Matt. And we got Matt Youmans, who is one of the hosts over at VSiN, one of the original hosts at VSiN, and also co-host of the Las Vegas Sports Line, ESPN Radio in Las Vegas. And I'm Scott, and we are going to talk from top to bottom about Super Bowl 52 on Sunday. And Matt, I want to kick things off because a lot of people, you know, we're lucky. We're around sportsbook guys all the time. I mean, Matt's with them every single day at the South Point doing his show. Dave and I get to talk to sportsbook guys every day on a radio show here in Las Vegas. But folks around the country, we might take it for granted what goes into making an opening number. And what I wanted to ask you was, before the conference championship games were kicked off, there was a what if or a look ahead line in this particular matchup of New England 7. You guys opened at 6. Explain what went into that, if any of it had to do with Gronkowski being injured and whether he was going to play or not, or just the fact that you had an inkling that you're going to get a whole lot of Philly money.
Sure. So, I mean, let's face it, all odds are based on power ratings. And because the NFL season is only a 16-game season, including the playoffs, these teams have only played 18 games. The sample size tends to shift more than it would. An NBA team that's a favorite gets blown out. Their power rating doesn't move much because they play 82 games. Or a baseball team gets blown out 10-0. Again, they play 162 games. So the individual game doesn't have that much effect. Here, with such a small sample size, individual games tend to move power ratings quite a bit on a week-to-week basis. So prior to the championship games, we had all 4 scenarios up with odds available for betting. And we actually had some bets on New England -7 against Philly, coincidentally. Sure. And after that, we obviously had to adjust the Philly power rating a little bit because they absolutely dismantled Minnesota in that game. But we didn't over-adjust it. We only adjusted to -6. New England failed to cover the spread in theirs. Philly absolutely destroyed the spread by over 30 points, winning outright as an underdog by such a wide margin. And we still only adjusted about a point. Because, look, you could make a case that Philly kind of caught the perfect storm in their game where Minnesota came off the biggest emotional moment maybe in Minnesota Vikings history. You know, I heard a Tuesday interview with Case Keenum, and the interviewer was asking him, how much sleep have you gotten after such a huge comeback win? And this is Tuesday morning after the game, and he still said, I hadn't gotten more than 2 hours straight of sleep. So, I mean, look how much of an emotional high they were on. They go into Philly. Is anyone really surprised? They come out flat, run out of gas, you know, after the emotional dump there. So we probably didn't move Philly as much as some people should. Obviously, everyone's betting Philly after what they saw last. So we moved it down to as an opener of -6, 47.5.
It's 4.5 right now at your joint. It's 4 in a lot of places I've seen, you know, dipped all the way down. A big chunks of bets have been coming in on the Eagles all around town. 6-figure bets, 7-figure bets. I know you've at least taken 1 or 2, took at least 1 at 700,000. Yep. So I'm assuming the liability for you guys still remains on Philadelphia for this game. But I mean, the factor, when I look at this and I factor in 17 weeks of regular season play in the NFL, 3 weeks of postseason play, just because you see somebody plucking down 6 or 7 figures on a game doesn't make it a smart bet. This is not one of the top 10 spots over the last 20 weeks of NFL action.
No, absolutely. And look, the Super Bowl period invites people that don't normally bet NFL to bet this game. And that's one of the cases with our biggest bet. We took a $700,000 bet from a player who didn't make an NFL bet with us all season long, and he bet the Eagles money line in that game. Which is a very, you know, to win over $1 million. So, of course, it puts us in a big liability to Eagles money line. Anytime you take a bet that size on a money line plus money underdog, you're going to have significant liability. But what's more interesting here is the spread betting, where 3.5 times as much dollars wagered on account and over the counter is on the Philadelphia Eagles spread, and almost 3 times as many tickets written on the Philadelphia Eagles. I think that's more the surprise so far than where the big giant bets from some recreational players have landed.
You know, the interesting thing on the big money line bets, if they win, they win. And I guess you can make a case it's a one-game scenario, so no big deal. But when you're intentionally, and they might not even know it because they don't do the math, but they're intentionally getting the worst of it. A money line bet on Philadelphia from a value standpoint is a horrible bet. Horrible. You're sacrificing like 30 cents off where it should be. You might get paid anyway, but that tells me when I see Philadelphia money line, that's not a sharp better.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to put that much faith into what they're doing in terms of a respect value.
Matt, of course, you're a VSiN. You got a lot of sportsbook guys there, Jimmy Vaccaro, the whole gang that you talk to every day on your show. And what are they saying? Are they showing a lot of liability on Philly like Matt is at CGT, like a lot of joints are around town?
I think most bookmakers expect Patriots money to show up later this week.
Sure.
And I'm pretty sure it will. I mean, you're getting to the point now where the price on the Patriots is a bargain.
Yep.
And, a lot of sharper bettors, I think, are going to see that. So that's the way I expect it to play out this week. It's funny how you're talking about these huge bets in the Super Bowl. It's like the rule of 10, some bookmakers call it. Whatever the average Joe bets on a normal game, he bets 10 times as much on the Super Bowl, which doesn't make sense.
And I get it back in the day. I remember Bob Stupak. I mean, he makes a 7-figure bet, Cincinnati, San Francisco, 1990-ish, whatever that was. He's getting some advertising. He's paying $1 million to be promoted all over the place as being the guy that made a 7-figure bet. But when you're keeping quiet who you are, I'm just sitting there and I'm thinking, boy, that just doesn't seem like a smart bet to me on a game like this when you had 17 weeks of games and 3 weeks of playoffs to make smarter bets all along. And now you're waiting for this particular game where there's not a lot of value on either side when that line opened to make your 7-figure wager. I just don't believe in it.
It's funny because the more mainstream media coverage we get of sports betting now with ESPN and all other outlets, everybody, a lot of these guys want to be the one who gets the hype and gets the notoriety for putting in the $3 million bet.
Right.
So I think we're going to see more and more of that.
I agree. I completely agree with that.
Let me ask you
and
this.
it's a marketing tool for some people. We
sure.
saw it
That's
during the
what-
World
yeah,
Series. I
yeah.
mean, I think at this point it's fairly public. We could talk about it. Mattress Mac during the World Series ran that big promotion, came to Vegas to hedge that promotion off, and look at all the exposure he got out of it.
And that's not the first time he's done that.
That's right,
Mattress
yes.
Mac. He's done it a few times.
Yeah.
Exposure and all that stuff aside, do you see it happening with both the spread or the money line, or more on the money line, because that's where the value of the Patriots is really going to be in terms of if you're just looking down that avenue? I've got to think that that's what the sharp guys might be waiting for, is New England money line as low as possible.
Well, I will say this. If you take out that $700,000 bet we took on Philadelphia money line, then our money line action is about 4.5 times as much dollars wagered on Patriots money line than it is Philly. Because what happened when you get this many big bets on Philly money line is there's been reported at least 5.5 or greater now on Philadelphia money line in town, is the money line drops to a level where it's really unbelievable value to the people who just do the math on it for the Patriots.
5.5 point favorite should be about minus 210 on the money line. It wasn't
minus 180.
Yeah, I mean, you give a sharp better 30, the sharp better take 10 cents of value, 30 cents of value. They're going to jump in.
Well, we'll get you guys' final scores in just a bit, but I want to talk some props first. And you got a million or so of those with you right now. Matt Holt from CG Technology Sportsbooks. We'll get the most popular in a moment. But I got to tell you the one that I keep hearing every time I get called to do a radio show. Every single host says, New England's never scored a point in the first quarter of any Super Bowl in the Belichick-Brady era, and they've only given up 15 points the other way. So, boy, that under 9.5 looks real juicy. I don't think it looks all that juicy anymore. First quarter to second quarter, you're always going to have a higher point total in the second quarter. It's almost 5-point difference. 9.5 first quarter, 14-point second quarter. I don't think this is the season to play under 9.5, Matt. Is that one of your more popular prop plays that we've seen thus far?
It is, and we've seen it's one of the more popular total-based one is that one. The rest of them are all Eagles-based, betting the Eagles on alternative spreads, LeGarrette Blount to score a touchdown, those kind of things. But you're right, there's been really heavy action. And if you go around town now, most people want to stay on 9.5 because it's irrelevant whether it's 7.5 or 9.5, really. And you'll see a lot of the juices to the under are really heavy now on that 9.5.
So let's start with you, Dave. What's a couple of the props you're looking at this week?
Well, look, and I know Matt's going to talk about this as well, but we didn't go over this before the taping. It's just brilliant minds thinking alike, I think. Looking at the Patriots' game plan in this game, they're going to identify Mills as the weak link in the defense. I think they're going to go after him. We've seen he gives big cushions, and he's gotten burned on a regular basis. That's 31 for the Eagles. Also, we know that the Patriots love the short pass. They're bubble screens, things like that. I don't think they're going to try and run as much as use the short passing game as a form of running game on Philadelphia to try and do ball control. So to me, that prop on Brady pass attempts, I think that's sailing over. I think he's going to throw the ball 50 times in this game. I think he goes way over the total. And to me, that might, and I'm not a big prop player, but that one I'm definitely playing.
Listen, Gronk's probable. We know he's going to play. Here's the thing, man. When they matched up against the better teams this year, late in the season, games that really mattered, they targeted Gronk downfield. I mean, he had a 31-yarder against Tennessee in the first playoff game for New England. I believe he had like a 27-yarder against Pittsburgh. That was late in the season in a game that mattered for home field advantage. They targeted him 3 times before the injury last week, and he had a chance to make a long catch, probably about 20, 25 yards after catch if he makes it. On the play that he got hit helmet to helmet, was knocked out of the game. I like over 25 yards for his longest pass reception. And since Dave stole one of yours, do you have another prop for us as far as this week's
Scott,
game is concerned?
I don't know if you know this, but in 7 previous Super Bowls with Belichick and Brady, the Patriots haven't scored a point in the first quarter.
So we're going to book your under right now?
I want to say, what will the Patriots do first, score or punt? I played punt minus 120. And that one, I don't have a lot of confidence in Nick Foles going in this game. And I like Jake Elliott a lot. I played Elliott over 1.5 field goals. I think we're going to see multiple field goal attempts from the Eagles. How about this one, Will? The first kickoff by Steven Gostkowski result in a touchback. I've got no minus 120. This opened plus 120. But you know how Belichick likes to play this, is drop that kickoff inside the 10 or the 5-yard line. I thought that was a pretty good prop to play because it's highly unlikely that Gostkowski is going to boot it through the end zone for a touchback. Danny Amendola is another guy aside from Gronk. I think Brady's going to go too often. And Dave and I are on the same page here. I think it's going to be similar to the playoff game against the Titans where Brady put the ball in the air 53 times.
Right.
I like Brady over pass attempts. I like Amendola, who's becoming one of his, if not his favorite target, over 52.5 receiving yards. LeGarrette Blount to get a touchdown, plus 200. He's only got 15 carries in the playoffs, but he's got the team's only 2 rushing touchdowns. And he's a power runner around the goal line. You know, a little bit of a shot there on Blount to get a TD. I think there's a decent shot that'll happen. And I know Brady threw a pick 6 last year in the Super Bowl, but if you want to lay a little bit of a price, no special teams or defensive touchdown, minus $2.
I like the Blunt angle also, LeGarrette Blount.
LeGarrette Blount down to minus 160 with us. Of all the individual player props that we have right now, our biggest liability in the book is will LeGarrette Blount score a touchdown? Yes. And we're all the way down to minus 160, plus 140.
Yeah, Ajayi is going to carry the
Just
ball
from
between the
betting,
20s,
actually.
and then they're going to give it to LeGarrette Blount.
Yeah.
I thought if he can get 2 or 3 touchdowns, they were 33-1 on LeGarrette Blount MVP offshore. We haven't had a running back win
And
in
that's down
20
to
plus
15
years.
to 1.
I saw 8-1 in one spot.
We're
actually
down to
yesterday.
15.
All the way down to 8-1.
He's been the most popular.
I can't play it for the reason he doesn't get enough
Hey,
carries.
I don't think exactly. I don't think he's going to get the MVP. But if he gets a couple of touchdowns, I did play him at 60-1 to win the MVP at the West.
That's a good
okay.
price.
That's,
Yeah.
you know,
That's
the
better.
thing
Now,
is,
8-1, 15-1. Are you crazy?
listen,
Right.
if he gets 2 touchdowns, but he only has 4 carries for 9 yards, the game, he's not getting the MVP.
Well,
Okay?
half-yard touchdown runs, yeah. Matt, what are you looking at for a prop player, too? That
I
you
went the other
bumped
way.
everybody
While
down?
everyone's on the Eagles here, I actually bet the Patriots minus 8.5, which isn't that far from the line at plus 165. So I figure, look, if the Patriots win, they don't have to win this game by just a touchdown. I think they could win this game by double digits here. I mean, Philadelphia didn't even score a touchdown versus Atlanta. They scored 0 in their season finale. I'm going to go ahead and take a shot. Patriots go ahead and win this one by double digits. Correlated with that, I played Patriots first team to score at least 8 points at minus 150. And I played one on the penalties because it tends to be really noisy early in these games. With the crowd noise is crazy right after the national anthem. Opening kickoff is when the stadium tends to be the loudest. So I played first penalty of the game to be a false start at plus 250.
Let's go around the horn and get the predictions. We got Matt saying by double digits potentially here, putting his money on it at the alternative line of minus 8, 8.5 on New England. Dave, your final score for this game?
Well, and this is as much a hope as anything else because I bet the Patriots I got basically pick them before the Jacksonville game to win the Super Bowl. Patriots about plus 100. It was minus 105, minus 110 out there. And then came back and bet the Eagles plus 6 right after their game. So I want the Patriots to win by anywhere from 1 to 5 points, and I'll cash 2 tickets. I have no risk whatsoever. And that's my main bet in the Super Bowl because why do anything else when you're sitting pretty like that? I'm going to go New England 30, Philadelphia 27. I think it's going to be a high-scoring football game. I'll take the Patriots to score last. They'll find a way to get it done in the fourth quarter and sneak out with a 3-point win.
Matt Youmans?
Patriots 23-20 is what I went with.
Oh, you're looking for a low-scoring game there.
I'm going to look for the cheapest money line price on the Patriots. Probably I lean under, but I got to tell you what, it's not going to shock me if this game blows up and becomes higher scoring. But I think Tom Brady, like I said, is going to put the ball in the air early and often. And Philly's a live dog because of its defense. But you break this game down, 100 different ways. At the very end, you say, can you really see Nick Foles walking off a winner? And Brady and Belichick losing the game. I got the Patriots in another close game. In their 5 Super Bowl wins, they've won by 3, 4, and 6 points. And their losses by 3 and 4 points. I think this is going to be another one down to the wire.
And, of course, the 6-point win was
Overtime.
tied at the end of regulation, so it was overtime. I had the under in that game last year, by the way. I was feeling pretty good through 3 quarters. I was feeling about as good as the Atlanta
I
Falcons.
had the Patriots. Never in doubt.
Never in doubt. I'm going to go 28-24. I'll call 28-24 New England. I think they win the football game. I think, again, it's relatively close, just like all of their Super Bowls. I do like it to go over, played over 47.5. So if you're watching, don't purchase that total. That's up at WagerTalk.com right now as we speak, because I am on the over. If you have, call Johnny and bother him and get some kind of free play for the weekend. Don't, Johnny likes to handle that kind of stuff anyway. All right, guys, great stuff. Dave Cokin, find his work at WagerTalk.com, and of course, the Las Vegas Sports Line, ESPN Radio in Las Vegas. Matt Holt, he is the Vice President of Business Development at CGT Sportsbooks in Las Vegas. Matt Youmans, you can check him out at VSiN daily, noon to 3 Pacific time. Also one of the co-hosts at the Las Vegas Sports Line, where I'm also a co-host, and my stuff obviously at WagerTalk.com. Also, don't forget you can save $10 with coupon code SUPER10 on any of the packages this weekend. And if you like what you see, you hit that thumbs up button. Also share it with your friends and family. They're going to love to see videos for free at WagerTalk.com each and every week, basketball, football. The other gangs set to come up. We got Marco, we got Gil Alexander, we got Ralph Michaels, we got VR, the Greek, you know him. Stick around. We got more to come. We are Wager Talk TV.